Can you tell me if it's working? Yes, I have. He mentioned it has not started. Yeah. It has come now, I think. Hi, I think we have finally managed to come on the YouTube live. Just checking once again. Okay, so I think it was on mute. All right. So I was saying that after such a technical delay, we are finally back on live. It's great to be here, and I think we should get started without much delay because it's already like 10 minutes into when we actually said that we are going to start. So everybody, a big welcome to whoever is joining in for this session or who have been waiting to join in for this session. So today we're going to talk about the NMAT, a national level exam used for MBA admissions in some of the top business schools in India and some of the other countries as well. It is owned and conducted by Graduate Management Admission Council, or the GMAC, which is where we both are from. So to start off with, I want to introduce you to the best expert on the NMAT, that is Swapnil Teotia. Swapnil is the Associate Director for Product Management. She has over 24 years of experience in education delivery, operations management, and product management in distributed environment. And at GMAC, she manages NMAT assessment for India and international locations. A big welcome to you, Swapnil.
Thank you, Seema.
And my name is Seema Parekyad, and I have over 11 years of experience. And at GMAC, I manage all of the candidate outreach and TPO relationships across the South Asia region. So what are we going to cover in today's live? Well, firstly, I will give you a brief look into all that you need to know about the NMAT, its structure, features, important dates, and fees, and more. And then we will have a Q&A session with Swapnil. And for those of you who are just joining in, she is the Associate Director for Product Management, to clear all your queries related to the NMAT and everything that you need to make your NMAT experience the best ever to get into the business school of your choice. So I would request you to keep typing in all of your questions into the chat so that we can take it up later. And meanwhile, I will quickly take you through that small deck that I was talking about, containing everything about the NMAT. So shall we get started, Swapnil?
Absolutely, Seema.
All right. So I'm going to share my deck right now. I just want you to let me know if you can actually see that.
Yes.
And am I good to go?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So the first thing that I want to address is what makes NMAT really good, or really candidate friendly rather. In terms of structure, you'd find that it has a lot of flexibility. I mean, NMAT gives equal weightage to all of the sections. There is no negative marking, and you have control over which section you want to actually do. So as I said, a very candidate-friendly exam at that. The second thing is, when you talk about the score, immediately after you write the exam, you will be able to see your score. And within 48 hours, you will be able to download your scorecard. Again, with respect to efficiency and being able to know exactly where you stand with respect to your score, as I said, it is really flexible. Now, when it comes to score sharing, obviously for additional score report, you would have to pay an additional fee, but NMAT does allow you to send 5 free score reports free of cost to the business schools that you want to actually send to. And you would be able to do that either during the registrations or later. And if you have any specific questions regarding this, you can definitely ask Swapnil as well. Now, talking a bit more about flexibility and security. First of all, it is a highly flexible exam. When you look at exams in India, you don't get as much as flexibility as NMAT definitely gives you, especially because you can either take it at the test center or you can take it at the comfort of your home online, which is of course proctored by somebody, by a proctor, right? So you're not writing the exam alone, you would have somebody actually watching you while writing the exam, which is how the security of the exam is also maintained along with a lot of other aspects. Now, in terms of convenience and in terms of being something that is an exam which is really meant for you, NMAT actually allows you to take the exam in total thrice. That means in total you get about 3 attempts to actually improve your score, which is something that takes a lot of pressure off your head when you think about getting into the school of your choice. In terms of resources, how do you prepare? So we offer personalized preparation study plan, official guide, and of course the prep exams from questions made by the test maker itself that will help you get best prepared for the actual exam. Now, if you are somebody with special need, if you need special accommodations, that is also available for you. And, you know, by submitting the appropriate documents and everything, you would be able to actually avail that, right? Now, let's talk about the structure. So you can see here that you have 3 main structures for the NMAT. You have the quantitative skills with 36 questions, which you have to answer in 52 minutes. And you have questions like number properties, arithmetic, algebra and probability, DI caselets and tables, DI graphs and charts, and of course, data sufficiency. So the next one is language skills. So you have 36 questions again, and this one you have to answer in 28 minutes. So you have your reading comprehension, paraforming, error identification, prepositions, sentence correction, and analogies in this one. And last, you have logical reasoning, 36 questions again in 40 minutes. Here is where you have your critical reasoning, analytical puzzles, and deductions and other reasoning. So all of the 3 sections, as we mentioned before, has got an equal weightage, and you'll see that the scale score is about 12 to 120 each. So in total, 108 questions, total score of 36 to 360, all in just 2 hours. All right. Now, you have a clear picture of the exam structure. Here is one of the most important things, I think, is which everybody wants to know with respect to the, you know, taking the exam, or when you're starting out on your journey to take the exam, which is the exam date. So the first date that you have to be very clear about is the registration name. In 2023, it has already opened up, which is on Tuesday, 1st August of 2023. And you have time until Tuesday, 10th October 2023 to register for the exam. Now, when do you schedule your exam dates? That would be again between Tuesday, 1st of August 2023 when it started till 12th October of Thursday. Please don't leave it for the last moment. Please make sure that you actually register for your test, your actual schedule for your exams much early and well in advance, so that you don't miss out on the deadlines. All right. Now, again, another flexibility that NMAT affords to you or gives you is rescheduling. Let's say you are in a fix and you know that you're not going to make it for a specific scheduled date. You do have the freedom of rescheduling the exam for an additional fee. So when will you be able to do this one? It is again between August 1st and the ending date is 16th of December. The normal exam delivery or the exam appointments fall between 10th of October and 19th of December 2023. That's when the exam dates will be, right? And if you intend to retake the exam, let's say you took the exam once and you want to kind of like, go for your remaining 2 attempts, you will be able to schedule those dates for between 11th of October 2023 to 16th of December 2023. And again, if you want to, let's say you booked your rescheduling date, but you want to reschedule your date, then you can do so between 11th of October and 16th of December. Now, let's talk about the exam fees. So the exam fees is just 2,800 plus the taxes. If you want to retake it, it is 2,800 again. That is you're paying for an individual exam plus taxes again. The additional score reports is 300 plus taxes, and if your rescheduling fee is about 1,200 plus taxes. Now, NMAT is definitely an exam that, as I said, is meant and made for you to make sure that you get the best choices. You have all of the benefits that's actually required to get into the right fit school and the best fit school as well. So in terms of capacity and in terms of availability, we have test centers throughout India. In fact, we have exam centers in 73 cities. Besides, of course, we've already spoken about how you can take it online at home. If you want to get more information about the test centers, you can actually visit mba.com, and you have the link online as well, which is mba.com exams/nmat/register-schedule/test centers. In the case of online details, you'll be able to just change the last one from test centers to online-proctored exam at home. So make sure you visit the official website to get the most accurate information. Now, this year we've had a bit of change to our let's say the journey, and I'm going to tell you exactly how you actually get to go through the registration and scheduling process. The first thing that you need to do now is visit the mba.com/nmat and click on register for NMAT by GMAC. In the next step, you create your mba.com account, fill all of the required details, which is not complicated at all. Then you go complete your NMAT profile by filling in your mobile number and country. Once you do this, you have to go and open your verification mail, verify your email ID, and then re-log in using the same email ID and password. Do make sure you remember to do this. You have to re-log in using your same email ID and password. And then once you re-log in into that, on your My Account page, you can click on NMAT by GMAC dashboard. You might find other things, but it's very easy to see NMAT by GMAC there, which is what you're looking for right now. And in step 6, you fill the GMAT registration form and proceed to the payment. And you're good to go with the registration. Now, let's get to the scheduling. So when you schedule for the testing at center, you log into the mba.com account. You access the NMAT dashboard from the My Accounts page. You click Book Exam button on the candidate dashboard to reach the scheduling system. Your profile details will be available to you there. Then you can choose your country, city, and test center where you want to take your exam. Choose the date and time, when you want to actually take the exam, and then you get a confirmation email with details of your booking. Now, a very interesting thing now is you don't have to completely rely on that email itself. You will be able to download your admit card from the candidate dashboard. Now, once an attempt is scheduled, it can only be rescheduled in the same mode. Like in the sense, if you have registered for the test center, you can't reschedule it for online. You have to reschedule it for the test center itself. And just as in previous years, you can reschedule it 72 hours prior to the exam booking and on, let's say, on payment of the rescheduling fee, of course, which is about 1,200. So if you need any kind of help, what you need to do is reach out to us on nmatsupport@gmac.com. And we are pretty responsive, and we'll make sure that your queries and doubts or any concerns are resolved as fast as possible. Now, in terms of online, you'll find that the first two steps are pretty much similar. You go to mba.com account, you get your My Account page, you hit the book exam button, go through that entire scheduling system. As I said, profile details will be there. Do make sure you enter the correct date and time zone because the begin test will appear to you on the time that you have selected. So if you send some, select some random time, I'm sure that you wouldn't do that, but you might kind of like mix that up. So please make sure that you're not doing that, all right, and select the correct time that you want. So exam show is about your identification proof. All of the details, the most accurate information with respect to the identification, you'll be able to find it on mba.com again. Please go there and, go through all of this information. Swapnil, do you want to kind of like talk about examine no and examine key for the candidates so that, they know what to do here?
See, so these options are given because we wanted to make you aware about when you are scheduling your exam for online. So when you are scheduling, you have chosen the mode that, okay, I want to appear online at that time while you're registering and then when you're scheduling your exam. So there are three options. So the first one is examine show. So in this, you have to upload the ID, the government issued ID, photo ID, where your photo is there and recent photograph, which matches with your face. You can go to the website mba.com/nmat and there is an option on exam day. On the page of exam day, there is an option of ID requirements. You can check what all are the valid IDs. Out of those list, anyone is you can choose.
Okay.
Then there is second option comes which says examine no. This is where you have to set up 3 security questions, and you have to give the answers. That the system will ask you to set up from the list. Okay, you set up your own 3 questions. Why these 3 questions? Because the system is when you will start your exam, this is at the time of scheduling, but the day when you will be appearing for your test, system will ask any one of these 3 security questions, and if you are answering right, then only you will be able to start your exam. And the third is again examine key, because here it asks you to enter your first name, last name, and re-enter that without any space and capital letters.
Yeah.
This is done by the system to save the keystrokes of the data which you are entering, and this will be used at the time of authentication when you will start your exam.
Right. So as you can see, guys, as Swapnil has actually explained, this is high integrity, security. So yeah, you have to understand that when you go for the online exam, make sure that you are not trying anything different, and then you stick to authentically taking the exam, because there's a lot of security measures which is already taken, as Swapnil has actually mentioned. Now, quickly going on to, so again, this is more about system check for online proctor testing at home. So you do have to make sure you use the system readiness check and the demo test before you actually, go ahead and take the online testing, because you have to check your secure browser feature, everything well in advance. So please don't keep it for the last moment thinking that, okay, I'll just, wing it or kind of like go with the flow and see how it goes there. So in terms of testing at center, there are a few things that you have to keep in mind while going, to make sure that you don't have any problems while going and writing your test at the test center or online. For the test center, before you start your exam or before you go for your exam, check the ID requirements. Please make sure you carry all of the documents and reach at least 45 minutes before the exam time. And considering our traffic, it's always best to make sure that you know. And pre-check, in terms of pre-check, that is before your exams, the documents all of them will be checked and verified. The photograph will be taken, the signature captured, and of course, your rough sheets will also be provided. Proctor will make sure that they enable login to the exam in the case of the your test center as well. And of course, the exam will start with a non-disclosure agreement. And candidates need to accept the start. They have to accept the NDA to start the exam. If you don't click on the non-disclosure agreement, if you don't accept it, then you will not actually be able to write the exam. So please make sure that if you do want to write the exam, accept the exam. And
system gives only 1.5 minutes to you to read that NDA disclosure. And
so I think like Swapnil, if they don't actually click on accept, then they will not be able to write the exam at all, isn't it? So please make sure you do click that accept. And we've already mentioned that, you have an option to choose the section order, but then you will have to do it before itself. So while you write the exam, you can't change the order in between. The combination of order that you want to work with, you will have to select it before you actually start the exam itself. And do make sure that you go through the tutorial, even though you might have, done your due research, and then of course start the exam. Now, moving on to the online, the same as, when you actually deal with the test center, you still have to check your ID requirements. We already mentioned that you need to check your systems check, the readiness, the browser, and where would you actually get this information? You can log into the dashboard and download and install the demo secure browser to check your the browser compatibility, right? And in case of online exam, do log in 15 minutes before the exam time. Earlier doesn't hurt. Click on connect to Proctor, click your photograph and your signature photograph. Then keep your IDs ready for the Proctor to validate. I mean, don't be, make sure that you are not kind of like searching for what you need when that verification is actually going on. And complete authentication by answering the examine no security questions and examine key, as Swapnil had just talked about it in the previous slides, right? Now, in terms of Proctor check-in, the Proctor will check your ID. They will make you kind of like show all of your surrounding areas. There'll be desk and the work area scan with 360-degree view via webcam. And they'll also confirm whether it's installed software, and Proctor checks that no other applications are running on your computer. And you do have to keep your video on throughout the entire exam. And you can communicate via the voice chat or the live chat with the Proctor, right? And so in between, if the Proctor feels that, they want to actually check the surrounding, they can again kind of like do the desk and work area scan with that 360-degree view whenever they feel the need to do that. Proctor then will launch your exam, which starts with the NDA as with the test center. And then you have the section order selection and the tutorial and so on. So that's it with the check-in. Now, here are some of the really amazing things that have happened in this year, which you'd find is highly beneficial and advantageous for your entire NMAT journey. First of all is the reduced wait time. So if you did not show up for the exam, if you clicked on that NDA, you refused it actually, you did not accept the NDA, and you did not complete the exam, then earlier you had to wait 15 days to retake that exam. But now for in these situations, you don't have to wait to actually retake the exam. But if you have successfully taken the exam, you still have to go through that entire 15-day waiting period for your next attempt. All right. Now, there's reduced dependency on that partner email that we spoke to you about, like verification email, not the verification initially, but the confirmation email that you get later. Now, what you can now also use is there is an admit card that will, now show on the exam, which will give you the exam venue, date, and time details for your exam date as well as time for the online proctored exam. So all you have to do is go to your dashboard and then download all of this information there. Now, in terms of self-schedule, for accommodations of with people with special needs, you will be able to do your self-scheduling, just like the online proctored. All right. So, Swapnil, do you want to add any other information here besides, what we just spoken about?
No, I think this is good because these are the changes, or you can say enhancement, which we have brought in this year for NMAT exam to make it more candidate friendly. As itself, this exam is really very, very much candidate friendly. Means they can choose, there is not one single date where you have to appear for an exam, and in case you are not able to appear on that day, then the entire cycle is lost. No, there is a duration of at least 2 months given, and there are various dates for a test center also and for online also. You can select the date as per your own choice, as per your availability, and the mode also, whether you want to go and appear in a test center or online. So yes, so every year we are enhancing the test. Depends on what all feedback we do get from the candidates.
Right. And I think, you simplified the check-in process as well by including one valid photo ID and removing the signature ID as well, isn't it? So I think, obviously, in itself, the exam was pretty, when we say candidate friendly, I think it's just about the ease with which people can just, go and take the exam. You don't have to wait for a single day to actually, for the exam to be conducted and then do what. If you miss that, then you miss it for the entire period. You still have, I think, about a 70-day window to take the, schedule your exams. So I think that for that itself is something that offers a lot more flexibility, isn't it? Now, quickly before, we move on to asking you more questions, which I'm sure, I can see that the candidates are asking a lot more questions as well on the chat. The important thing is, how do you actually prepare? So we do have an exclusive study plan. The exam official guide, the NMAT exam official guide is available for you. We have one pre-exam prep with 2 attempts. So you have 108 past NMAT exam questions, which you can attempt it twice. And then you have 2 paid practice exams in which each exam will have 2 practice exams with about 216 past NMAT questions. So these are like never before seen questions from the past, and the cost for this one, that's a paid exam, is about $899 plus taxes. And in today's world, I don't think that's costly at all. Now, the official guide, the 9th edition, is already available for you. So you have concepts and question types, tips and strategies, your past NMAT questions, of course. You have 264 questions available to you, including 173 new questions. You, of course, have answer keys and explanations for each of this. Then you have 475 additional questions. The ebook is available on Kindle if you want to get it, or you can, of course, get the hard copy on Amazon. This one is about $12.99 plus taxes. Now, prices may obviously differ according to the region, but please do check that. A quick sum up, structure-wise, 108 questions, equal weightage across the 3 sections, no negative marking. You can choose the order of the section. Each of the 3 sections are individually timed, though. You can take 2 retake attempts in a testing year. Your practice exams and everything is already there. You have 2 modes, test center and online. Of course, self-scheduling is also available, which is really helpful, plus rescheduling option, and exam slots are available on a first-come, first-served basis. Please don't wait till the last moment, guys. That's your cue for that. Of course, NMAT is accepted by a lot of schools for varying programs in some. You can see some of the famous ones. You have the NMIMS, ISB for their business analytics program, SBJN for their women's program, SRM, TAPME, Shivnadar, and the list is ever growing, if I'm not wrong, Swapnil. And more universities here. So as I mentioned, the test is friendly. Sorry?
I'm saying that recently we have added the school from Hungary itself.
Yeah, oh, wow.
That's
so we have of what you're trying to say, isn't it? I mean, if you look at India as well outside, I mean, people can take for business schools in India and math for business schools in India, as well as it's kind of like spreading out into other countries, which is really great. So that's it in terms of the deck. Let's actually take more questions. I'm going to stop my screen share now. And as I said, there are a couple of questions that have come from, I'll probably take one that have come from the candidates, people who have joined the stream. How can we compare this is very interesting. Swapnil, I'm going to put you on the spot directly. How can we compare NMAT exam to a CAT or a ZAT in terms of acceptance?
See, every school has their own, set of exams through which they accept the candidate, right?
Yeah.
CAT is majorly accepted by IIMs and rest of the schools also, but primarily CAT has been written by for IIMs, and ZAT is for, we all know, and ZAT is the toughest, and there is an acceptance in Jamshedpur, but other schools as well. Similarly, there is an NMAT also, which has if anybody wants to enter into NM or they want to enter into AIM Manila, they have to write NMAT. They don't have any other choice. Right? Yeah. So, sorry.
I think everybody does love to ask that question, and we love comparing different kinds of exams, isn't it? So Tushar wants to ask you this question: is MBA better or PGDM? What would you suggest?
I think you can suggest better.
So I'll tell you what, I mean, I think they are just different names which are actually called by different people. There's still, in some of the places they call it an MBA, or in some, in our place we call it a two-year PGDM program, but I don't think it's to do with the name of the course, rather with what you want to actually learn from the course that really matters, and probably the kind of school that you actually learn it from, which opens you up to alumni network, or give you the kind of learning that you actually want. So I think I'd leave it at that, probably because it's such a subjective question in general. Again, I have a very general question, but then I think I'd probably bring you back to one question regarding the NMAT, which we did get earlier, in terms of those who actually want to give the exam. What would you say, Swapnil, is the ideal time to give the NMAT exam, since it has like a 75-day long testing window?
Seema, I missed your last point because of the network issue. Sorry.
Okay, so my question to you was, what is the ideal time to give the NMAT exam, since it has like a 75-day long testing window?
It depends on a candidate readiness as well as the availability, or because the slots are on first come first serve. So which slot they are booking for, and they are ready. When they are ready, they can appear for the exam. And exam is same whether you're giving it in October or you're giving it in the month of December. The difficulty level will remain same.
Okay, so because that was my next question, a very golden question at that. So is a first attempt easier, or is the second attempt easier, or if I was a candidate, like, I mean, I'd probably think that maybe, yeah, I'd go for an attempt which probably was like easier, or is there a specific month which is easier, like October is easy or December is easy? Because I'm sure that this question gets asked you a lot.
No, so whether it's first attempt or retake 1 or retake 2, any attempt, the difficulty level will remain same. You give in October, you give in November, you give in December. Every time, the same level of difficulty will come. So there is no difference. It doesn't matter. Month doesn't matter. The attempt doesn't matter.
Okay, so no magic attempt, so no magic month. Noted. So I mean, I think a lot of people would have this question in terms of like, how do they prepare? Like, how should a candidate actually essentially prepare for the NMAT?
Okay, how should they prepare for NMAT? As I'm sure those people who are appearing for NMAT, they may be appearing for other, entrance tests as well for MBA programs. So it's like they have to make a schedule, and they have to, rigorously study for that, for quant, for logical reasoning, for language and all. And we do provide 6-week study plan that's available on our website. They can download that, and as per that, they can start preparing from our official guide. I would always suggest, please prepare from official guide. And then we do have 2 free attempts. Appear in that, and then you will get to know where do you stand. Do you need more preparation time? Do you need to give more number of hours? So before appearing for the main attempt, please do give the preparation attempt or the prep exams. And when you are confident, then go for your main exam.
Right. Before I ask the next question, I just want to tell everybody who's actually watching this to get more updates from the official. So we are the official test makers, the GMAC. Please make sure, if you've not subscribed to the channel, to go ahead and subscribe. We'll be putting out more content to help you actually with this process. So I am Seema Parikat, and this is Swapnil. She handles the entire NMAT assessment in India and in international countries as well. So we're talking about all the features related to NMAT, and do keep dropping in your questions as well. I'm taking it as we actually go. As I said, do subscribe for more content from the official test maker itself to get the most accurate information. Now, Swapnil, my next question is, if a test taker takes the NMAT exam like more than one time, which of the scores out of these attempts will be considered by the NMAT accepting schools?
All right, Seema. So if it all depends on the schools. So we always request candidates, please do go to the school's website and check, are they accepting all 3 attempts? Are they accepting the best score in 3 attempts, or they are only accepting the first attempt? I'm not saying main attempt, any first exam given by them. Because at times, okay, let me just explain this to you, because to the viewers rather, at times what happens, okay, I booked my main exam and I booked it, for example, for 15th of October. Due to some reason, I was unable to go to give this exam.
Okay.
So what I did, I booked another, I booked the retake exam, because I became no over there, and I appeared in the retake. So read that. So some schools will accept your first score, whether it's in main or whether it's in a retake, but your first score, first valid score. Okay.
Yes.
Some of them will accept the highest score, whatever, whether it's from your main attempt or from your retake 1 or retake 2. It all depends on the schools to school. It differs. So we request candidates to go to the school website to check what is their criteria.
Right.
And one more thing I would like to explain here. Filling up NMAT registration form does not mean that you are filling up the application for the schools as well. Even though you have selected 5 schools or 7 schools where the score will go automatically when you will be appearing for the exam, but you have to fill their application form separately by going to their website.
Correct. Yeah, I think that's important for sure. Yeah. I'm going to follow up that question with one from Sahil. He's asked, like, since nowadays every college and university has got their own exam, do you think that these colleges pay any preference to NMAT in comparison to their own?
So now I will ask again back, if they are mentioning that they accept NMAT, definitely they do give weightage to NMAT. That's why they're accepting it. Otherwise, why do they need to accept it?
Right. So I think they probably kind of like look at the best candidates coming from respective exams, whichever they're actually considering, and then go with that, considering the overall profile. Of course, I mean that's something that in management education most business schools actually look at, the entire profile, plus if you've gotten a great score in this as well, that's obviously going to add on to the what do you call your application. So there's an interesting question here. Rakhavendra has asked, can you explain the NMAT marking scheme and its adaptive structure or adaptive nature?
Okay, so NMAT adaptive nature is, it means, I will not go in the algorithm and how psychometricians have designed it. But okay, let me just explain that if there are whatever topics are there on which we are selecting we are testing the candidates, the topics will come for each and every candidate, but the difficulty level that comes on the way you are answering the question. If you're answering right, the next level of difficulty question will come, and the marking scheme is also like that. So you can say the items, the questions are dynamically selected by the system, depends on how student respond.
Correct. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. So the next question is, okay, what is the eligibility criteria for NMAT exam? I mean, is there a cutoff, or I can write it only if I've completed something? Is there something of that sort?
So what is the criteria to take admission for MBA or PGDBA? Same thing. See, why would you like to appear for any exam for that matter? Because you want to take admission for this programs, right? So usually candidates are in their second year of their graduation, usually third year in the graduation. So these are the large population, second year or third year candidates who want to appear for NMAT. But NMAT score validity is only for 1 year. So large population is that which is in their final year of their graduation, and next year they are going to get they are seeking the admission in the B schools.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm just going to kind of like pause a bit again. Please keep dropping in your questions into the chat so that Swapnil can answer the questions. If any of you have just joined in between, we are talking about the NMAT. We are from the GMAC, the Graduate Management Admission Council, which conducts the exam. I'm Seema Parakyat, and we have Swapnil Tiotia, who handles the entire NMAT assessments across the India and other regions. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, please make sure that you do. This is the official channel for all of the official information. And if you want to stay tuned to all of the updated information, it's best that you do. So Swapnil, I think a lot of questions, most of the questions have been answered. Is there anything else that you feel, that the candidates should keep in mind for this 2023 cycle? Or in general, where maybe they essentially kind of commonly go wrong, and they should keep that in mind while getting into the exam?
So, Seema, I will say the difficulty level of NMAT is, you can say, from moderate to high level.
Okay.
So they have to take the exam seriously. Yes, they should take the exam seriously, and they should prepare well for this. It is a speeded test. Hence, their practice, although there is no negative marking, but the number of questions, difficulty level, and the time given over there. So preparation, yes, is must and required. And they should know the tips and tricks, to solve of that specific type of questions, which is given in the official guide. Strategy, because if all these things are very, very handy when you are appearing for any of these GME, entrance exams. So I will only say this, that yes, a preparation required, but along with the preparation, you should know the tips and tricks to solve those kind of questions.
Right. So I'm just going to take this one general question by Marek. Do you think that MBA is still having its value like it used to have in 2000s, since we are connected so easily through social media platforms and gain so much experience from peer groups? Swapnil, do you want to?
Okay, so I would like to say here one thing, Seema. In 2000, how many specialization of MBA we used to have? Very, very few, right? Now, how do we have? And things are changing. The curriculum are changing, and they are dynamic in nature. More and more streams are getting added as the demand is coming. So artificial intelligence is there. So many digital marketing is there. Healthcare is there. So many things have been added over there.
Yeah.
So yes, it is relevant. It's very much relevant even in today's market.
I think I'd like to add on to that. I mean, obviously, we live in a world where we just have so much of information available to us. A lot of times, one, we're not disciplined enough in general to kind of like go through the entire content, and just there's too much of content to really go through. While you do learn a lot of skill sets from your peer group as well, but an MBA is an entire journey itself. A management education is an entire journey itself, because it brings together certain kinds of peer groups from very diverse backgrounds. If you look at, top B schools are very particular about diversity, gender, inclusivity. So all of these things considered, so that when you are sitting in that classroom from people who are future business leaders, plus people who are business leaders who would potentially actually teach you. You learn from the best. You learn the right kind of situations. You learn the good and the bad and the ugly, I would say. And of course, you put into a network. And I think management is essentially about networking. It's about having the connect to the right kind of people, even when you want to raise funding for your business, to getting the right kind of job, to anything else. I mean, so it's all about that kind of network. And I think an MBA does that, even replaced by any kind of information that you're going to find, in the outside world. But I think, Swapnil, we've answered like most of our questions, and I don't see any new questions. I'm just going to check again if anything has come up. No, I think we're good. So to everybody who is actually watching us right now and who has stayed in for this entire session, a big thank you. We were delayed by a couple of minutes. Technology, while I'm good at it, sometimes just does not behave the way it wants you to. But I'm glad that we could actually make it in time to answer all of your questions. For more information, as I've mentioned, if you have not subscribed to this channel, we're going to do more sessions like this. We're going to put out more videos for your reference. Please make sure you hit the bell icon, subscribe to this channel. If you did like this session, please do hit the like button as well. And I hope to see you in more sessions. Both Swapnil and I hope to see you in more sessions in the future. And thank you for being a lovely audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Seema, for hosting this session.
Thank you, Swapnil, so much. Thank you.
Thank you.